Hello, fellow classmates. My name is LaCarrol Rhone. I'm an online graduate student at Liberty University. This presentation is in reference to my HSER 508 course, Interpersonal Communication Project. But before I present my presentation to you, let's go to the next slide. I would like to share something with you. Let your conversation be always full of grace, seasoned with salt, so that you may know how to answer anyone. That comes from Colossians 4 and 6. Now we'll discuss my point. What is communication? Communication is the act of conveying information for the purpose of creating a shared understanding. It's something that humans do every day. Humans convey information through a variety of methods, such as speaking, telephone, emails, blogs, TV, art, hand gestures, facial expressions, body language, and even social context. But through all this communication, how many are really listening? Next slide. Communication, according to John Stewart, the author of one of my books in this course, shows that interpersonal communication is the process that we use to communicate our ideas, thoughts, feelings to another person. Our interpersonal communication skills are learned behaviors that can be improved through knowledge, practice, feedback, and reflection. And that comes from our great book that we had in this course, Bridges Not Walls, a book about interpersonal communication. Next slide. The kind of communication John Stewart calls interpersonal doesn't happen all the time, but can take place in families, between friends, during an argument, in business situations, and even in a classroom or a board meeting. The main characteristics of interpersonal communication is that the people involved are contacting each other as a person. Next slide. Well, during the last 8 weeks, I learned, do we always listen, how effective is listening, and ways to improve my listening skills with the help of James C. Peterson in our book, Why Don't We Listen Better? Next slide. Communication is an integral part of any relationship. If it's at home, with friends, or at work, research has shown consistently that a deficiency in the skills can absolutely ruin relationships. Next slide. Well, after my research, I had to take a communication skill test and receive a snapshot report. This next slide will show my results. Next slide. My results are as following. It indicates that I extremely adept at interpreting other people's words and actions and seeing things from their perspective. I realize that empathy is an essential part of a good communication skill. Therefore, would do my best to place myself in other people's shoes. I generally get a good sense of yourself according if the person I am communicating is uncomfortable. Next slide. Also, we had to participate in enlarging my conversation. And when it comes to communication, what you say and what you don't say are equally important. Being a good listener is quite crucial. The foundation of solid interpersonal skills is not just making yourself be heard, but also involves an understanding of where other people are coming from. The King James Bible states in James 1 and 19, to know this, my beloved brothers, let every person be quick to hear, slow to speak, slow to anger. So I believe we should be able to communicate and listen before we speak. Next slide. In the course, we also discussed behavior blending. Well, once I read Mel Kavanaugh's book, I learned that everyone thinks, feels, and acts differently. Do you ever encounter a conversation and after listening you say to yourself, I can't believe they did that? Dr. Kavanaugh lets us know once we understand what our behavior is, we begin to experience the why people puzzle. And in this book, once we identify their specific DISC, they can focus on their individual needs. Next one. Well, once I done this, we participated in a uniquely you questionnaire. Well, mine uniquely you indicated that I am a S and a D. The S meant that I am steady, stable, shy, security-oriented, servant, submissive, and a specialist. The D indicated I love a challenge, love freedom, and authority. It also shows that I had a C, which meant quality is important to me. Next slide. Well, in the future, I will engage in my shortcomings and improve my listening skills. Over the course, I have learned that effective communication takes patience, one of my weaknesses that I am praying about. Thanks for listening to my presentation, and believe it.